We most likely will see an appeal. If it's an acquittal, then there you go. But this remains still an open case, so to say, when we talk about the death of Helena Hutchins, because, of course, Alec Baldwin is facing charges involuntary manslaughter himself. Do you think that the verdict in this case will have some sort of indication of what Alec Baldwin may be facing if and when he goes to trial in this case?
Well, I think what's interesting here, I think it's more of he can win either way, he could spin it either way, right? If she gets convicted, then he can go, listen, it wasn't my fault, it was her fault. You know, a jury of her peers, our system has told everyone in America it wasn't me, it was her. But if she doesn't get convicted, he can go, listen, the reason she wasn't convicted because there were things outside of her control and my control. You know, it really wasn't, no one knows what happens, and the prosecution couldn't do their job in that time, and they couldn't do it here. I think it's a win-win situation. Either way, if his PR team is paying attention and is thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure they have something set up anyway, regardless of what happens.
We know that the jury can return a verdict of negligent use of a firearm if the defendant is found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Well, there's a lesser included here. So when they get that verdict sheet, Ron, they're looking at the involuntary manslaughter charge. They're looking at the tampering of evidence charge, which is related to that alleged cocaine that was found. What do you think that they mulled over the most? Again, it's a quick verdict here, but you know, a note did come out seeking some clarification from the judge. The judge sent the jury back to deliberate. But what do you think that they were mulling over the most here in this relatively quick time between their jury charge and the start of deliberation and what now is a verdict?
I think probably I think you're hitting the nail on the head on figuring out, like, what are we supposed to really focus on with the lesser charge? These things are not, you know, even the verdict forms are not that clear. That's why in closings, you know, trial attorneys have to spend a lot of time on those so that any ambiguities that you anticipate is explained to the jury, because the jury will just come up with an answer if you don't give one to them. As far as what the questions mean, right? Of course, they'll tell you how to react, but what the questions mean, and you know, I believe it's probably is there supposed to be a nuance, or are we overcomplicating things with this lesser charge?